meetings. And what we are going to do is connected to the word grounding. What grounding means that we connect higher frequencies back into the physical. On one side, back into the physical. This is more connected to our former experiences, where impressions, feelings were too much, and we just checked out a little bit and then kind of dance a little bit around it since maybe decades. So we can reconnect these kind of put out into not feeling things into our daily life again. So it's a reconnection. And on the other hand, also we can connect our inspirations, our ideas, our longing for our own path of life. And if we want to go so far, like also from a spiritual background, we want to ground our soul's potential, the soul's energetic impulse, which brought us into life, into physical life, into physical expression. So in this case, that our potential and our expression is kind of harmonized and we feel happy naturally. The more we are away from our natural expression, the more we feel a little bit strange. It feels not like us really. It's a little bit like always not really it, whatever this means. So that on many levels, this grounding is really an interesting thing. And it also has a really very simple day-to-day effect. For example, when we come into our more or less daily conflicts, we can stay more connected to the physical. Instead of beaming us away into a world of thoughts and assumptions and thinking about, so that we can kind of reconnect the thinking and the feeling to the physical. This is what I feel in this moment, in my body, in this place. And this really brings us out of the mental world and out of the subtle world. It brings us back into our skin, literally. And in many cases, this is really a gift, because when you sometimes see that, for example, with children or also with adults. So when something is like too much and the child, for example, or we also mostly know it from our own experience, we are kind of all over the place. And this and that, and we need a solution. And wow, what's going on here? What do I feel in my physical body in this very moment? And then the mind comes and says, wait a second, I take care of you. As long as you are thinking, you don't feel the intensity of that, you don't feel humiliated, you don't feel run over, you don't feel not felt, you don't feel whatever. I take care. Stay in the thinking, this is good. And it really sounds logical. And in a way, it is. But it's a building of interconnected thinking somewhere. In the moment, we really, in a quiet moment, we can have a look at that. Or if we see it in another person, if it's like, oh, wow, what's going on there? And I think everybody of us has the experience to somehow to see a fight in a couple happening in front of us. So we are having a meal or a meeting or something, and some of our best friends who are a couple start a fight. And then you're standing in front of them and you, wow, what's going on here? This is not even logical what they are doing. And from the inside, it looks very logical. From the inside, it seems like this is what has to happen. I have to protect myself, mostly a very young inner self acting. I have to protect myself from my mother, or I have to be seen by my father, or I have whatever I have. And then, wow, these adults, there are still these 40, 50, 60-year-old people, bodies, but inside children are acting. and that we reconnect that to the physical, out of this movie of our mind, which in a way is protective, but also a trap. Okay, so this is more kind of a theoretical use. So why to use this? What is it? What does it make sense for? So that it doesn't only stand or stay in a more abstract, esoteric, whatever realm, but it has a really day-to-day, moment-to-moment effect on our life. Okay, so to start with, I would like to do an exercise with you, which in a way feels very simple, but it includes already a lot of the things we will have a look at, and it will deepen during the time. And actually, in a way, it's very simple. So maybe Gina can mute everybody besides me.
I've already done that.
So that the background noise. Yeah, okay, thank you very much.
I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, so for a moment, make yourself comfortable so that you can sit in a mostly upright position for some time. And we will do a journey through and into our body. So, first of all, I would invite you to feel yourself. Just take a moment and have a look. Oh, feel myself. What does that mean? What do I do then? And just as a simple start, have a look. Feel yourself. Are you now inside your skin? Or are you more in a more or less vague cloud somewhere? Which is not right or wrong. And it's not about having it different. It's just like, what is your automatic place where you go? If you're not really clearly inside your skin, at least partly now, you're somehow hanging out in the subtle world, either in the mental body, in the thinking process, or in the emotional, astral body, in a feeling process. Do you have the impression that you are in the physical, inside your skin? Do you have the feeling you are somehow around or also outside the skin, or mainly outside, in a feeling process? And feeling might mean a lot, from energetic movements to emotional feelings. And now I would invite you to sink into your skin. like the vapor of the water in the air is condensing into a cloud, into a fog, and then it becomes a water drop, something physical inside your skin. Wherever in your body you do that, it doesn't matter. Just get your awareness inside your skin. And don't put pressure on you. Don't fight. It's more a clear intention. So maybe you tell your system, whatever I have told you in the last decades, now for the next 2 minutes, I want to feel myself physically inside my skin. Then your system exactly knows what to do and how long it will last, and that you're not crazy, but doing it on purpose. If you're wandering off, invite yourself back. And you rest inside. And maybe just for now, take a deeper breath. Relax. You might move a little bit. You might readjust your position. Move your shoulders maybe a little bit. And just for a moment, let's do it again and again. Don't fight yourself. Don't pressure yourself, but set a clear intention so your system knows what to do. Intention is creation, and the more clear it is, the system knows how to follow. So I will talk this sentence again. Maybe you have a better one for yourself. You can also use this. And in the moment you find yourself inside your skin, it might even not be so easy to hear my voice, because you think less, you feel differently. This is the effect of this. You just say, who am I now? Who is this person now? How is she now? How is he now? Okay. Somehow you came back to automatic during the last sentences, most probably. Okay, now something like it's my intention now for the next 2 minutes to feel myself inside my skin, inside my physical body. To pull my awareness inside my skin into the physical. And then see what happens. Okay. You might take the breath again. Maybe move a little bit. And just let's hear some short travel reports.